Hey folks, sorry it's been so long since my last video. Life's been a little bit hectic lately, but then again, whose life isn't hectic at some point in time? I've been dealing with some health issues with my cats. Thankfully, their health has greatly improved since, so that's a bonus. So here I am finally able to make a new video. Um, so what I am doing today is I am going to show you how to make paper pouches to hold the drills. If you're like me, you do some of you do diamond painting on a budget and can't quite afford to purchase the storage options that are available to do the diamond painting with. If there's a cheaper way to do something, you better believe I'm going to find a way to do it, within reason, of course. So just a little quick backstory on this. When I first started diamond painting, my very first canvas, I didn't have any storage whatsoever, and I was so impatient. I wanted to start like right then and there. And if you don't have the storage containers, it makes it really difficult to work on your project, right? So we're an artistic household, and I'm also from an artistic family, so we've always got art supplies are kicking around the house, right? So basically, I just searched around the house to see what I could come up with, and turns out that the hubby had some drawing paper kicking around, and I got the idea. I'm like, well, why don't I just make pouches? So, yeah, and it just went from there. It was only meant to be temporary at first, but it turned out that I liked it so much that I just continued on with it. I don't use the pouches for every single project, but for the most part, it helps save money in the long run when you're doing it like this. I mean, what it has for me, I imagine if somebody else were to try this method, I'm sure they would find that they would save a little bit of money in the long run too. So it's always nice to save money. It's a bonus. So basically, all you need for this is you just need some thick drawing paper, some sturdy tape. The very first time I used the drawing paper, I was using 70-pound paper. I'm not really too familiar with the types of paper. I just know one is thicker than the other. You don't want it to be too thin of a paper, because then it just becomes flimsy, and again, it defeats the purpose. So what I've got here is 3 different sizes. My large baggie, or my large pouches. I've got the medium pouches and the small pouches. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to put together the small pouches today. And then basically whatever I do for the small pouches, you just basically multiply that by whatever lengths you're working with, and then just use it for the large and the medium. If you just give me a moment, I'm going to reposition the camera and then we'll get to it. All right. Excuse me. I made a mistake. I forgot to mention what items would be good to do this project with. So basically you want rulers, scissors. I've got 3 different types of rulers here. The large rulers are ideal because obviously you can make much larger measurements. You will need your sturdy tape. I bought this at the dollar store. It's just like a duct tape kind of. And then we have got scissors. You're going to want to use 2 different pairs of scissors. I've got a pair for tape and I've got a pair for paper. I have made the mistake and already ruined a pair of scissors because of the adhesive on the tape. It kind of gums up on the scissor blades and it just makes it useless for paper. Then we've got the straight blades, and then we've got the X-Acto knives. These things are amazing for doing these kind of projects with. I very highly recommend getting one. You can find them at Walmart or any hobby store or art store or anything like that. And then, you can use any kind of thick drawing paper. This time I am just using some out of the sketchbook. It's not as large as I would normally use, but it still gets the job done because it's the same thickness basically. Okay, so now I'm going to reposition the camera and we're going to get to it, all right? Okay, so what I have done is I have already pre-cut and pre-measured everything. What I do, the size that I normally go for the small pouches, I usually do 5 square inches, so like 5 inches wide by 5 inches tall. The medium ones, I normally go about 7 inches wide by about 5 inches tall. And we have got the large ones, which I usually go about 9 inches wide by about 6 inches tall. Okay, so what you want to do is make all your measurements and cut them out. And then what you will do is a couple quick folds. Actually, what I do is once I've got everything cut out, I make a little mark in the middle of the paper, and that will tell me where to fold the outside into. So basically what I do here is I fold it in like this, just a little past that halfway mark, and I get it like that, and then I do the other side just like the same, and then we end up like this. And then what I also do is when I'm cutting my tape, it's really thick, so I end up taking it off and then I cut it into 3. So I'm basically getting the most out of the most I can out of each strip of tape. So what I do when I'm measuring the tape for to put these together. So what I do is I make sorry Sorry about that, I had a little bit of a brain fart. So what I do with the tape is I will make a cut that is basically twice the size of the length, or yeah, as long as it is tall, I'll double that, basically. So how I do, I'll lay my tape out flat like that. Sometimes it sticks to my finger. And I'll open this up and I'll place it about halfway, like so. And I'll flip it upside down. And then I'll just fold it on top. Sometimes it won't line up. I mean, it takes a little bit of practice to get it to line up to either side, but I mean, it's as simple as that. The reason I do the longer lengths of tape is because once you start handling them more and more often, the tape starts to get a little, the inside of it starts to come apart a little bit, and then the drills will get stuck in between. So I like to double the length of tape, that way nothing gets stuck in between and everything stays sturdy. So once I've got the tape done like that, I will make a quick fold at the bottom, just like this. And then I also have another strip of tape for the bottom, and I will just put it right there. And what I like to do is I like to make an overlap and push it over around the front. That way, again, if you're handling it a lot, the tape starts to come undone around the edges, and it starts to become a bit of a pain. And then once you've done that, you've basically got your little pouch, and then you just make a quick little fold over the top, and then there you go. It's simple. I haven't had any problems with them opening up. Like, say if you drop the pouch and there's drills in it, it hasn't opened up and spilled everywhere. I mean, knock on wood, it hasn't happened yet, but I mean, I found them to be very sturdy. I've been very happy with them. Yeah, I wanted to share this with everybody, and I mean, maybe it can help somebody save some money too. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. See you later.